Hello guys, today is Special Fenn Recommends. I said in the previous one I didn't know if I would do one during October. I barely got it in, but I did. I watched quite a few horror movies lately, and all of them deserve some recognition, but I only had time for one. So I figured, oh well, I'd probably pick one that some of you may be a tad more familiar with, as opposed to something too obscure. I think I'll save that for a different time. Today we're going to talk about Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I don't own a copy, of course. So this movie was released in 1988. It's PG-13, believe it or not. PG-13 horror movie in the 80s, and it's not that bad. It's because of its tone, which we'll get to in a bit. It's an hour 28 long. It's not a long movie. It has 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb with about 29,000-ish user votes, and it has 43% on Metacritic with 4 critics. Yeah, yeah. The movie stars Grant Kramer, who's actually been a producer of he produced Lone Survivor, and also Suzanne Snyder, who who was in Weird Science. And the movie was directed by Stefan Chiodo. I can't pronounce his last name. I apologize. This is really something he was best known for. He also did special effects in Critters and Team America: World Police. On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 77%, but it's not certified fresh by critics, and 60% by audiences. With the critic count being 22 critics, that's probably why it's not certified, and the audience count being a little over about 43,000-ish. The critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes is Killer Klowns from Outer Space's title promises darkly goofy fun, and more often than not, the movie delivers. Yeah. The movie on the Just Watch app, it has available for streaming Prime Video, YouTube free on YouTube, Roku it's free, Hoopla, Vudu it's free, Tubi TV, Pluto TV, and Flex Fling. It's available to rent on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, PlayStation, iTunes, Vudu, Microsoft Store, FlexFling, and I can't read that. Let me turn up my brightness. AMC Theaters on Demand, and it's available to buy on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Microsoft Store, FlexFling, Vudu, PlayStation Store, and AMC Theaters on demand. It was released on DVD on August 28th in 2001. So yeah. So overall, I love this movie. Movie is kind of a send up of old school campy horror movies from the 50s. And it's very self-aware in that regard to a degree, but it's very genuine. You literally believe you you're not you're not questioning. Yeah, they're phoning it in. No one really phones it in this. Everyone really gets in it, and it's very funny. The clowns are legit cool. I like the clowns in this a lot. Their designs are are very clowny, but there's a gruesomeness to it too, and a simplicity. The movie isn't gory, actually, but there's a lot of the deaths are very the deaths are very some of the deaths can be funny, and some of them can be surprising, and probably a couple that could be intense. There's one scene that is pretty intense, and that's I'm not gonna say what it is, but I think if you watch it, you'll know the scene. Um, but yeah, it's very atmospheric. The soundtrack's awesome. It's one of those in the '80s, back in the day, especially in the '80s, artists wrote songs for movies. So a lot of songs will have the name of the movie in the song as a chorus, or be about a certain thing or something like that. Um, like Eye of the Tigers by Survivor, that movie was written for Rocky 3. That's an example. And they're kind of getting back to that now a little bit, but they're not. Back then they were incredibly obvious songs, like copy and paste title, this kind of thing. I do like it's the soundtrack's definitely the whole movie is like cheesy '80s, which I love. It's not gory, like I said, it's not gory, but the special effects are still amazing in this, in my opinion. Great '80s special effects, acting The acting is very much camp, but I love it though. It's very campy. The acting fits the tone of the movie, and all the actors and actresses fit with that tone. The direction's solid. You never feel like the movie drives off anywhere that it's not supposed to go. The writing's good. The writing's good because it's very, like I said, the movie does a great job of grabbing the tone from back then and putting into interpreting it for that time period and doing it justice too. Um, I will say the movie is PG-13, but I've seen some PG-13 horror movies back then get away with a little bit more. In all honesty, I wouldn't mind if they tried maybe having the deaths be a tad more gruesome, just a tad. It doesn't need a lot more, but I think they could have done a little bit more. Um, not every joke will probably land by today's standards. I think one or two of them might be like, oh, and that reminds. No, maybe it wasn't this movie. It was the other movie I saw. But I will say in general, when you watch movies from back then, be aware that some of the words and language said by them, not necessarily hateful, but nowadays can be seen as hateful. But back then it wasn't. Some of those parts don't age quite well, but you also have to understand that when back in the day, back then, those kind of some of the words and things said didn't have as many negative connotations as they do now. Things change, so keep that in mind. I don't think there's really any of that in this movie, um, but it is present overall. Um, But yeah, there's not really a whole lot I say to make this better. I mean, I think the reason why the numbers aren't super high, I mean, they're pretty high for a movie like this, but I think the reason why it wasn't higher is because, I mean, I think, especially for audiences, I think because there was so many great horror stuff released back then, that I think a film like this kind of it's easy. Actually, I was reading about it, and this movie did not have a very big theatrical run, like at all, like nothing. It actually gained a following over years, a cult following through VHS releases, merchandise too, like T-shirts and shit. A lot of people dug that, and the VHSs, and some theaters later on did play them in select places, like locally, and that gained a following as well. And yeah, this is not a kind of movie to take too seriously. It's one of those movies that it's easy to make fun of and easy to laugh at. You're supposed to laugh and make fun of it a little bit, but on a technical level, it does a great job in a lot of areas too. You could do both. A movie doesn't have to be technically awful to be funny awful. A movie can be campy and funny and still be technically well made and well executed. And that's the kind of thing that is awesome to see, that balance. And not every movie needs to be that way. Not every horror movie needs to be that way. But it's nice when a movie tries to, it makes an attempt. And does it well even. This movie does. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's you saw what I read. It's available pretty much anywhere. I definitely recommend checking out this Halloween. This movie should be out before Halloween or at Halloween, depending on how well they upload it, how fast I get to upload it. But yeah, and Fenn recommends expect more episodes coming probably later this, going into the vlog series. The current one will probably end sometime in November, so expect some then. And then some through December and probably January. I actually plan on doing another vlog series early next year, actually, because I just love doing The Flash so much. So keep an eye out for that. For the next one, I'll keep it a little secret a bit longer, but I'll reveal the next series I'll cover pretty soon. But yeah, guys, that's all I have to say. It's a great movie. Check it out when you get a chance. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.